Welcome to Direct Credit Funding Podcast. We have Jason, the owner of Direct Credit Funding. How are you today, Jason?
I'm amazing and so happy to be here.
Well, this is our first episode. We're truly excited to start this channel, so make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. But Jason, before we get into what you are, who is the guest with you today?
I have my Vice President, Brooke Heim of Credit and Operations.
Hi, thank you. So happy to be here.
It's nice to have you both here, but what is Direct Credit Funding? What is DCF? We're starting to see it go around the socials lately. What is your company? What do you do?
Direct Credit Funding is an equipment finance company. We provide the funding for businesses that are growing and expanding. We provide them the capital resources that they need to make the equipment purchases they need now to streamline and expand their companies. So we provide loan funding for businesses that are expanding.
And Brooke, what is your responsibility with Direct Credit Funding?
So I work, as Jason said, as the VP of Credit and Operations. So when loans come in, I make them happen. We take them, we have different lenders, we have different abilities to fund different programs, and knowing what those programs are to be able to get them in quickly and submitted to get a quick turnaround to empower our businesses to grow is my responsibility.
We are excited about having this podcast because there's a lot of misinformation in the world of banking and funding, and they are two separate things. So for our audience, can you give us a little bit of difference of what makes you different between a bank and a funding company in relation to business?
Absolutely. Banks are very rigid in their underwriting guidelines. Banks are expecting the cream of the crop because most people think that that's where they're supposed to go for their money. That's what we were taught all growing up in high school. You go to your bank. So the banks say no, and people are like, well, I guess my only other option is to pay cash, and they don't realize that financing equipment at any stage of your business's life is something that is available. It's amazing how many people we run to, Brooke and I, all the time. Every one of our team members run into business owners that were like, I wish I would have known that there was other options besides my local bank, because my business would be 10 times ahead of where it was now. It'd be 5 times ahead of where it was right now. Education is what we're here to do. We want to know the story about our customers. We want to know on a base level what's going on in their business. We want to know that we're helping them make good decisions. We're helping them educate them through the credit process, ease their pain points of going and getting a loan process. Like, that's what our job is to understand their business, help them grow, and be there not just for this transaction, but for the lifetime of their business, the life cycle of their business. We want to be there every step of the way from whatever their point is at that point in time.
Yeah, help us help you. Almost everyone has access to loans, but not everyone knows that they have that access. So being able to expand people's education and options into what they can do for their businesses with non-traditional, meaning banking options, is one of the big things that we hope to do, is to let people know what those options are.
Jason, before we get into powering businesses, which I'm super excited to hear, what made you start Direct Credit Funding?
Helping other businesses find an easier way to get access to funding. Prior jobs I was at didn't offer that, put people through a lot of hoops and told a lot of people no. Finding out that there was an easier way to get business owners their capital on a quick basis, because it frustrated me. You could go to the local car lot and you could pick out a $50,000 truck, sign away, and it's no big deal and it's yours, right? But you want a $50,000 and you still have a payment. Like, that's what we talked about, bad debt, good debt, bad debt. Versus if you have you make the purchase of the equipment, they're not giving you that. They're not. You have to give all your financials, make sure you can pay it, give your life, give your firstborn kid. That's what banks do, and that's really frustrating. And it's frustrating for business owners. And I would hear that story time and time again from my clients.
Sure.
And I was just like, there's got to be an easier way. And ended up finding a BizOp opportunity in the back of a magazine. Went to a education and training class, put my entire life savings into it, and went to a training class and learned how to do this. And had some good mentors in the world, which you will be an amazing mentor.
Yeah. That was back in
1997.
I think one of the really interesting things about that is the same problems that we had in 97 are the same problems that people have today. So what got you started in this, as far as providing options, providing education, giving people resources that they have available but don't know they have available, is still one of the main things that we get to do today, is educating people that there's still, like, the pain point has continued. And the way that you built your company is the same way that you're helping other people build their companies, by showing them what options they have available.
Thank you for that information, Jason. Now, Brooke, I have a question for you. You have had a successful career. What brought you to DCF and making you want to help build this brand? You had to have seen something.
Yeah, sure. So I met Jason, and he asked me, knowing that I'd had a history in mortgages, if I would ever consider funding again. And my hard answer was no, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with mortgages and the finance industry. He asked me to come and spend a day with him and see what the operations actually looked like, because he had a really good understanding that I was misinformed based off of my time in mortgages. So I came, I spent the day with him, and it was a really eye-opening experience, just how much different the equipment finance world is from mortgages, as opposed to an industry like the mortgage industry that has had a lot of negative impact on our financial economy in the United States. This is an industry that is building that in a completely opposite way. So everything that we finance is going to bring more money into,
It's good debt.
It is good debt. It's small town America. It is the small businesses. It is people who are striving to build this country into what we want it to be. And that was something I could absolutely get behind. And the turnaround is much faster. It's much easier. The equipment process itself is so easy to manage that my personal history with building operations and systems and processes and procedures and having a loan background just led me to be able to very easily slip into Jason's shoes and let him go do other things so we could continue to build the business.
Well, I think our listeners and subscribers are really going to fall in love with you guys and the guests. We have a huge guest list of people that you've worked with over the years, Jason. So I want to ask you guys this question both directly, but I want to hear both your individual answers on this. I asked you guys before when we were getting ready to start this is how can DCF help? You said small town America, Brooke, businesses grow. In less than a paragraph or two, how can that help a local small business?
Say you've got your local auto repair shop. They're so busy now, they've grown. It's more than him, just a guy working in his garage. He's moved to a small station. He needs to have more space. He needs lifts. Those lifts are going to cost him $15,000 for a couple lifts, maybe $30,000, whatever that's going to be. But he's, he's just barely making a buy right now. But he's got a little bit of profit at the end of the month, so he can invest in these new lifts. So he can afford maybe a payment of $500 on these new lifts. He can get these new lifts in. He can now double his revenue because he's putting twice as many cars in the bay every day. So he's taken his income from $10,000 a month to $20,000 a month for only $500 a month. So now he gets to do what? He's now packed there too. He's good enough. He's got to move to a bigger location. And so the process just repeats it over and over. This helps your Main Street guy open a second location, build a new building, hire more people, get a deli next door, attracts a food cart. All these people, all these businesses need equipment.
It's like the old gate lemonade, where you start off with a little tiny lemonade stand and you're trying to build it up into the big lemonade stand with the multiple employees. I mean, the more business that we can help you bring in by expanding your current offerings, the better you're going to do and the happier you're going to be and your customers are going to be. So by being able to finance, you're keeping your money, your working capital in your pocket. And like Jason said, for $500 a month, you're bringing in $20,000 instead of $10,000, and that creates more opportunity.
I know we're going to get into the financial conversations down the road with some episodes. Lastly, I want to ask you guys this. You started this podcast. You obviously see a future with what you're doing with DCF. From my understanding, and I hope this is okay to pull the curtain back a little bit, but you've been hiring some new salespeople and some back-end people. So you were getting loans out.
Yeah, we are.
So to people that are new in business, to people that are old in business, we want to have them hit that subscribe button, follow us on the Instagram at Direct Credit Funding. What would your advice be right now as to what you guys are going to empower these people through your podcast?
I want any business owner to know that we provide options for them. No matter what their situation is, we want to hear their story. We want to understand their story. If there's a way that we can put it together, we will put it together for them. We will help them accomplish their goal, whatever their personal or business credit is. We will talk to them and give them an education of what we can and can't do. And if we can help them, if we can't, we'll make sure that they have someone, we direct them in the right direction of someone that can appropriately deal with their situation. But we want to have those conversations with business owners because we oftentimes will get a request of, oh, I need a new piece of manufacturing equipment for $20,000. But once we talk to the business owner, like, well, yes, I've got this $20,000 widget maker. I now need a printer to print all the labels. And after that, I'm going to need a forklift to lift it around. And we want to know all those things that are going on in their business so we can help guide and direct their business and help them grow their business responsibly.
I think we have a little bit of magic that's happening at Direct Credit Funding right now, wherein Jason has been cultivating and growing this knowledge and lenders and options and different programs since 1997. That's a really long time. And we've taken his brand of magic of being able to have all this information and know where to put loans, and mixed it with my expertise of having a 20-year career in operations and expansion of building businesses. So right now, like you said, we have new salespeople coming on, but we also have, for the first time in DCF history, the processes and people in place to support doing more and more loans. So as we take his knowledge of what lending programs are there, and we combine that with what we're trying to offer to everyone else, which is company growth, hiring more people, expanding our services and expansion to be able to offer all of you more services and expansion, we have the capacity now to do even more than we've ever done in the past, which has already been very, very successful. So we're going to take all of that, we're going to wrap it all up and give out as much money as we can to everyone else.
One of my favorite parts about what we do, though, is that we help our friends and neighbors. We're helping the contractor that has an excavating business, the painter business. We're helping our friends and neighbors grow and expand, open a new restaurant right down the street. I love driving by things on the freeway. I like to drive by and see if it's a truck we ever finance. I know that's long shot, but I look at every truck and be like, I wonder if we financed that truck. We drive by a new building and I remember doing a man lift on a skyscraper once, and that was super cool. We did that, right?
And
I
we're
like watching
expanding
the
into new
local.
communities,
I like
right?
watching. I feel like we have a real impact on the real world. We're not
We do.
dealing with rocket manufacturer somewhere. We're dealing with the local business owner that has an impact right here in the community. Look, I agreed with you on local community.
Hey! Well, and it's lovely too, because we have the opportunity right now to know you. When we have your story, we get to sell your story and we get to finance even more. And we're expanding into new ventures, we're expanding into new industries, we're expanding into new communities. We're trying to build the Latino and Hispanic community right now as well. So if you are someone who has a business and you need somewhere to take follow us. We have the resources, we have the ability, and we're going to be able to get it done. And for the people we know, we'll get it done with as skinny as possible.
Brooke, you said something very magical. You said magical. I'm going to put Jason on the spot to wrap this episode up. Jason, people love proof of the pudding. What was one of the last deals that you can share with the audience to give them the proof that you are doing what you're saying? Jason, you were just talking to me off camera before we started about a tidal wave.
Yeah, that was a customer of ours that had a chain of 3 car washes back in Minnesota. And he was growing those, and he grew him into 10 locations by the time we were done with him. And then I believe he ended up selling that off to a big investment group. So we were with him every step of the way and ended up funding every step of that transaction.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you too. This wraps up our first episode. Please, everyone, make sure you find us on the socials at directcreditfunding.com. The phone number's right there in the link, and you also hit that subscribe button. And we want to hear from you, the audience. If you have questions for Jason or Brooke, I know Brooke's going to be on and off with some of our podcasts, so Jason will be here on every episode with a plethora of his friends to talk about funding.
I look forward to meeting all of you. And please ask those questions. Please subscribe, hit the link wherever you
Find
point
us
on
on all the socials.
all the socials. And we'll see you on the next episode.